Are you ready to listen to a podcast?
Here comes the Playhouse Podcast, thanks to Bradshaw and Bryan Law Offices.
Find, subscribe, and listen.
Did you miss a show? Download the podcast now.
Hey, it's Elena J. When you were a kid, did you have a rebel side to you? What juvenile delinquent thing did you do? Plus, what was the worst sunburn you ever had? And if a friend's dad asked for you to go on a walk with him and then started asking you about your personal dating life, is that creepy? Yes or no? All of this plus so much more is coming up in the Playhouse Podcast, which starts now.
What's that? The cops rolling up to Elena's parents' place, breaking in right now after they heard that she used to steal street signs as a kid in her juvenile delinquent moment.
It was funny because we actually had a kit and everything with all the tools.
Oh, my God. That's called premeditation.
And then
you can't possibly say, sorry, it's our first time.
It wasn't an impulse situation.
Yeah, it was like four of us. We had the lookouts and everything.
Oh,
and
my God.
What was the best sign you ever got?
I would say the Bacon Road one was really cool. Because it's Bacon Road.
Is it a delinquent?
Thanks.
See how that's funny? Is it delinquent to like TP people? That's kind of like a
It's kind of a victimless crime. It's just a little cleanup.
Every flipping weekend, and it was so fun.
Were you
just
targeting one person in particular?
No, we just did all the boys in the class below us. We would just go out, we'd get the toilet paper from County Market and head out.
The reason we're talking about this is the hot new TikTok trend is teenagers dressing up like with old people masks and then putting your face mask on and then hobbling into liquor stores and grabbing some Chardonnay and then buying it along with 9 bottles of vodka. But especially, here's the deal. You got to be smarter when you're working there. If they're buying the cheapest possible vodka and the 56-pack of Busch Light.
Newbies.
She's not 86. It's just not happening. So what was your juvenile delinquent moment? Kat used to break into model homes and party.
That was, I thought it was really cool. We never got busted. We had so many nights of just partying. But then now I'm an adult and I'm all crotchety. Don't ruin those structures.
Ashley, what'd you used to do as a kid that kind of made you a juvenile delinquent?
I was like some of you guys that took the signs, except we ended up stealing our neighbor's car and cruising around town, and there happened to be road construction, and we took a bunch of signs then.
Oh,
my God,
right.
you had a double whammy.
How
that
old
night.
were you when you started stealing cars, Ashley?
Like 12 or 13, and it was one sign.
This is
I should have said that was my delinquent move because I would take my mom's car all the time.
And you know what Kat's punishment was? Her mom took her to Dairy Queen after finding out that she was so mad. She said, "Should we go get a parfait?"
I said, "Why are you leaving the keys at the house?" She's like, "What are you talking about? You cannot drive. You are 12 and 13."
So you stole your neighbor's car, and then you stole a bunch of road maintenance signs so that everybody else's car gets shot because they hit the big potholes, huh?
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, and what do you do for a living now? Can I ask? How did this lead into your adult life?
I actually right now I work at a child safety center, but before that,
I knew you were doing something with making sure kids had better lives because you look back on yours and you're like, man, I don't want kids to have to do it like what I did.
You know what stinks for Liam is that Derek and I have almost done it all. And so we know what to look out for. So there's no way. Plus, he's a horrible liar. He didn't get it from me.
Yeah, he's a bad liar. Thanks, Ashley. I really appreciate you being on the show this morning. I got time for one more juvenile delinquent moment as we usher in Caitlin into the Playhouse. Caitlin, how old were you?
I was 16.
And what'd you do?
So me and my best friend, her boyfriend had broke up with her. She was 17
Oh,
and
God.
had said some pretty mean things to him. So I got a weapon, had a couple guys drive us to his parents' house, and we went to the store down the street from his house, which is probably not the best idea. And we got birdseed, green food coloring, and eggs. And we put the green food coloring in squirt guns and sprayed his parents' white garage and put birdseed all over his yard and then egged his house.
Oh, my God. Now looking back, you're like, I would kill a kid if they did that to my property, right?
Right, exactly.
Oh, my God.
The birdseed thing.
It was a lot of fun, though.
We did this. We had somebody in our class. I must have been a junior. But everybody has that rich chick in your school where for her 16th birthday, she got a brand new Jeep.
Yeah.
And she would park it in her driveway. They had like the turnaround driveway,
Are you
the
doing that
big
with your
arc.
hips?
Because if I say her name,
Brand new Jeep.
She had everybody hated the fact that she was so rich and flaunted it. And they even had a big enough house where they had the driveway that went through the front yard that had a front and a back. They never had to back up. They were so rich they could just drive all the way through. And so we got like 20 pounds of birdseed one day, knowing that she was at their lake house, and put it all over the inside of her Jeep, all over the driveway around the outside,
Nasty.
and she had the top off.
No.
And so I can only assume when she came home, there had to be 500 pounds worth of bird crap in there. So
That is
the
terrible.
birdseed is,
That's awesome.
yeah, it's almost a victimless crime. Good stuff, Caitlin. Good memories. I appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. You know, being a former juvenile delinquent, you're welcome on the show anytime, right? You know, you got a free pass. You immediately get on the air.
Perfect.
It's like a golden ticket. Have a good day. I appreciate you.
Listen, Desmond texted in. I used to take cans from the recycling plant after they closed and sell them back the next day. That is clever. That is creative. That's a hustle.
I don't even think I'm mad at that. I think I'm almost impressed. Worst sunburn you ever had? Do you remember it?
I think maybe it was when I was younger, but I really, really do take care of my skin. A lot of SPF. My sister has had multiple bouts with skin cancer. So has my mom. So has my dad. It runs in our family. So we just try to make sure to watch ourselves. But my dad just had a really bad bout with it. It was just like flaky skin on his forearms, on his legs. I'm like, Dad, you gross me out.
Elena, ever had one so bad that you couldn't sleep?
Yeah, a couple of years ago, actually, I was at a friend's lake place, and she's a person of color, so she doesn't have to use sunscreen.
Yeah.
And
Is that
we
true?
No, that's not true.
I didn't think that
they
was
still
true.
burn.
You still get a burn. It just doesn't show as bad,
Yeah,
right?
I mean, Melissa, my fiance, she's a person of color, and she doesn't wear any sunscreen whatsoever. She just gets really dark.
Oh.
And
You still have to protect your skin. You can still get skin cancer no matter what race you are.
I don't know. She doesn't wear any. But yeah, so we were at their lake place and we were out there kayaking, paddleboarding, had no sunscreen on, and it was like 100-degree day. I got burnt. My shoulders, my chest, my legs. It was terrible. I couldn't even shower.
I got to tell you the story. So when I was going through confirmation classes, you either had to go to like a Bible camp, and we were like 15. You either had to go to a Bible camp for a week or you had to go to these extra classes. So most of us went to the Bible camp because we thought it was a chance to screw off a little bit and just kind of and meet girls. That was the big thing, right? So I have this friend, his name is Jeff, and I played football with him, and he was red on the head like a you-know-what on a dog. Just the biggest ginger, freckles, everything, right? Well, 2 days before, he had gone riding beans with his uncle, which basically means you sit and you walk behind a flatbed trailer, and as you go through the field, you pick up any rocks so they don't break the machinery. Well, apparently, it had been like the sunniest day, no cloud cover whatsoever, and he didn't put on any sunscreen. So when he showed up, when our parents dropped us off for Bible camp, he was my roommate, by the way. This going to be this whole week. It was like a Monday through Friday thing. He's sunburnt on his face, and I can tell, right? Until I go, hey, what's going on? And I go to slap him on the back. He breaks down crying. Well, so we get into our room, and he goes, hey, this is really gross, but you got to see this. And he takes off his shirt, and he had a blister.
Yes.
The size of a softball on his shoulder. And I go, dude, you got to pop that. He goes, no. My mom said I'll get an infection. I go, you got to pop. Who's got a pin? So I pop it. This thing leaked out enough like watery substance to fill a dish towel.
Ew.
All right. So we flatten it out. It gets flat. Well, he's got another small one on the other side. And he goes, don't do that. Don't do anything to that one. Well, here was the good part. It was a really hot week, but we in the little cabins they put you in, no air conditioning, can't have a fan. Well, because of his extreme sunburn, we got to have 2 fans in our room. But everybody you'd walk around, they're like, you're the guy that's roommating with the gross sunburnt guy. Like, I got chastised.
But we have fans.
Yeah, I was trying to do that, and they're like, so, and but I've never seen a blister that big. It was like the size of a softball. So the question we've got for you this morning is, that really bad sunburn, and it was super memorable, wasn't it, Clint?
My senior year, I was on spring break, and I fell asleep with my hand on my forehead, and I got pretty significant sunburn, so I had to come back to school with a handprint on my head for about a week and a half.
Oh, my God.
Got made fun of the entire week, which was awesome.
At least it wasn't the L. And they did that to you when you fell asleep on the beach chair. I think it was like the second party plane in Paradise,
fell
right?
asleep. Yeah.
The smiley face.
It didn't really work, though, because I kind of woke up a little bit, and then I got all sandy and stuff like that. Jennifer, got a story for us?
Okay. When I was in high school, and I used to lay out all the time, everything was tan except for my armpit. So I decided to throw on a bunch of baby oil, lay out in the sun with my arms above my head.
No.
I was out there for a couple hours and got absolutely fried, blisters and all, and I could not put my arms down for about 3 days.
Ouch.
Not a good idea.
You know what this reminds me of? Thank you for the call, by the way. What's the Steve Buscemi character in Grown Ups? Where he breaks his arms and he can't put them down and he's just got them up in a big Y and stuff like that. That would be the worst because you really don't realize like how much you probably
friction,
rub your arms together. Weird news.
Charlotte Wheeler Smith was told that she had IBS by her doctor. She had this terrible abdominal pain, and she was like, there's nothing right about what is happening with my body. She ends up on the toilet giving birth to twins 2 hours later.
How is this even happening?
So I'd seen something like that before, and I knew that it definitely wasn't a good situation. And I just knew I had to get Evelyn out, so I just pushed with everything that I had. We resuscitated her, and then the ambulance arrived, and we've received the best care here in the Netherlands.
Isn't that just terrifying?
How do
One
you
comes
go
out
through-
fine. The other one came out unconscious, so they had to resuscitate her. But
how do you go through an entire pregnancy and not know it?
No. I don't know. I watched those shows.
I understand the Netherlands might not have the greatest healthcare system.
Yeah.
I get it, but still.
I really knew I was pregnant. Like, I really knew every day, all day.
Remember when you threw up every day?
Yes. But there are some women that are like, the doctor said he was hiding up in my ribs. I'm like, yeah, but there had to have been other signs or symptoms. You know what I
That
mean?
little thing, never put a finger in your ribs?
Florida law firm is offering teachers a chance to write a will before they go back to work. The firm posted on Facebook that they will provide living wills and advance directives for free. Many Florida teachers are voicing concern about having to work in August. Some say that there's nothing more grim, but hopefully it just...
If you were a
just gotta get through it.
teacher and you hadn't been infected by it yet, it's going to be weird to think that they can actually teach in that environment.
Yeah.
My 12-year-old was telling me, he's like, this is going to be silly. You know, nobody's going to wear their mask. And, you know, teachers are going to spend all their time telling people to put their mask on.
It's going to be really weird. And that is what's weird.
You can always holler at us anytime you want. Call us, DM. We get tons of text messages, and people like to stay anonymous. And I know, Tracy, that's not a big deal for you, but I know you're kind of calling for your friend, and she's got a little bit of a concern. What do you got going on?
Yeah, so she told me something that was a little disturbing.
Okay.
She spends a lot of time at her friend's house that has a pool, and she wants to have, like, her summer of fun before she leaves for school. And while her friend was showering the other day, her friend's dad asked to go for a walk with him.
Okay.
And he's, like, a nice guy, and I've never gotten that creepy vibe from him, but she said that she definitely was getting a weird vibe.
Yeah.
And he just kept asking her, like, where she's going to be living. Does she have a roommate? Is she going to be dating her boyfriend while she goes to school?
Now getting into personal conversation. You know, I get are you going to have a roommate, stuff like that. Those are just maybe like conversation starters, but I think it's weird to take a walk with your friend's dad.
Yeah, that's crossing the line, I think.
Yeah. I mean, if it was like, hey, kids, let's all go for a walk together, but like to single her out.
Yeah.
And then dive into that stuff. Because he even made the comment, like, your relationship in college never lasts. So it's like, why would you?
Oh, yeah, that's creeper level 5.
You know what's weird is if a mom were to say this, it's not creepy.
It's hot. It's super sexy. It's like you got something on the other side.
Or it's just a conversation. But I feel like I don't know why it's a weirder feeling when it's a dad.
Yeah, like,
I don't
why
know.
did you need to take her off location to have that conversation?
Right.
You know, like, you could have if you were looking out for her, you would have had that conversation in front of other people.
Yeah,
like,
but you've
needed
never
to, like,
had that vibe? You've never had that creepy vibe from him at all? Okay.
No, they're such good family friends, so I don't know how to take it.
Usually
And,
I'm
if I
like,
should
watch
blow
your
it up.
bobber, but at this one, like, it seems creepy.
Yeah.
It's the KCLD Playhouse with Kat and JJ.
What would you do if you were her mom right here?
I think if you're getting that feeling, there's a reason for that feeling. You know what I mean? We had a friend whose dad got busted for showing himself to our friend's mom. They lived right across the street. And then we were no longer allowed to stay over there.
This is when you were a kid?
He never, ever made us feel weird. He was really never around when we were around. But then all the parents decided, no, you're not going to go over there anymore. They had a pool. We would play in the pool all the time. But every morning, he would stand in his garage door with it open with his robe. And he would wait for her to be in their bay window making coffee. And he would give her a quick show. And then she finally called the cops. She videotaped it, called the cops. I mean, you just have to go with your gut, even if nothing were to ever happen.
How do you do this? Oh, this is a family friend. Who do you tell?
Well, now she's going off to college.
Yeah.
I really don't think that it should be a big deal to keep her away. If the daughter feels uncomfortable, you need to protect her and go with, what are you losing? You're losing nothing, even if it's a family friend.
Yeah, I guess.
Your daughter comes first.
All right, so I want to get your thoughts on this. You heard the story. So I at first thought it was Tracy's friend, but it's her daughter that she was talking about. So the daughter's got just a creepy vibe coming from a friend's dad.
You got to imagine, would you ever ask, okay, so Reagan jumps in the shower. Would you ever ask one of her friends to go for a walk with you and
No,
Daddy?
God,
you
no.
wouldn't.
No.
That's very weird. And even if you have the best of intentions, it just doesn't sit right with people.
Yeah, I want to get your thoughts on this. How would you handle it? Imagine you're, 36 weeks pregnant and you're feeling great about your body. You're like, I'm going to be a mom. I'm going to birth this baby. I'm going to bring in a new feeling to this world. This kid is going to be awesome. But you're at the beach. So you got a little bikini on. And as you walk by Kat and her 8-year-old son, Liam, and Liam's 10-year-old friend, his friend under his breath says,
she should put on a cover up. She didn't hear, thank God, or I would have flipped out. But she looked so cute. I love that look on a pregnant lady. It's just like, whatever. No one else matters. I got a bun in the oven. Other stuff
How about this?
is more pressing.
How about a guy is 348 pounds and he puts on a banana hammock at the same beach? Would you say, geez, put on a pair of shorts?
No, I would not.
Yes, you would.
No, I would not.
This is the biggest double standard we have in society today. A big fellow wears something that's a little tight, and immediately everybody's like, geez, get on a diet, fatty.
No.
But a woman wears something a little tight. She's so proud of herself. She has such a good body image.
The fact that you would say something to somebody that is popping out of their outfit is very surprising. People are surprised. McKaylin says, bobber, JJ, question mark. Someone else says, I really think people need to watch their bobber. It's not their problem what other people are wearing.
I think
So
our
true.
society would be 1,000 times better if we communicated things that would stop each other from embarrassing each other.
Yeah. And then Tristan, I love how Tristan's always like, watch your bobber, yet he is the one watching my bobber and thinks that it is creepy that I walk around my house naked.
Well, when do you cut off the naked walk around your 8-year-old, 9-year-old, 10-year-old?
It's not like I'm constantly walking around naked, but if I'm in my bedroom and he comes up, I'm not going to scramble and grab my robe. He's used to seeing it.
Carrie, what are your thoughts on all this?
Well, I was raised with there's a 10-second rule and a 5-second rule.
Okay.
10 seconds for your food. 5 seconds is when you meet somebody. You have 5 seconds to look them up and down. The only way you say something is if they have like an eye booger or a bat in the cave or food in their teeth or their zippers down. If it's the way they wear their clothes,
yeah,
you don't say nothing.
Did you say bat
If
in the
it's their
cave?
hair, I sure did.
You are one of those good friends that I know. I'm confident if I'm friends with you, I will not walk around with something in my teeth. There have been so many mornings that I sit across from this guy and I walk out and talk to the world and I have just like a booger in my nose or mascara.
It's a
smeared
fun
somewhere.
game for me to see how long this would last before she gets out into society.
Sucks.
That's sad. You should at least tell somebody if they got some crusty stuff in their nose
I
or
know.
in their teeth.
Or a
It's
bat
an
in the cave.
appearance thing.
Yeah, I got you.
You're a good
You don't
person.
judge them. You don't judge them on the way they wear their clothes because you never know the battle people are fighting inside their head.
Yeah, exactly. You say something to someone that just lost a bunch of weight. Can you imagine what kind of spin that's going to put them in? You know?
I've never really
trust-
lost any
trust
weight, so
me,
no, I can't. Fair enough. Thanks, Carrie. Have a great morning.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Take care. See you later. She's used the bat in the cave line. Ashley, what's good?
Hey, what's up? How's it going?
What are your thoughts on modesty here?
Well, honestly, I grew up with a ton of dudes. I grew up with my dad and everything. Like, I would get called out for showing everything, and so I had to cover up. And so I had to learn to be sexy and cute without showing my stuff. So
you had to be
creative. You gotta get creative.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have a girlfriend who will always take the opportunity to wear a really, really low cut shirt.
Who's this?
She has.
What's her Instagram?
I am. You know her. You've worked with her. So she has a great rack. You know, it's like not something I would say put away, but I don't know. I would choose, to be honest, a turtleneck over a shirt where I show my boobs. I don't know what it is. I feel like
this is a problem with the world today.
I mean, I get it. I'm very large chested as well, and I want to show it. Not anymore. I mean, now I'm older, but I had that phase where I was like, oh my God, I'm away from everyone. I can do what I want. And it just wasn't what I thought. It wasn't the attention I wanted, because you do get eye goggled, and I'd rather them be curious rather than already know.
Yeah, I think that makes good sense. I got time for one more call here real quick. Let's say hi to Kelsey. Hi, Kelsey. How are you?
Hi, I'm good.
What do you think about all this?
I think as long as, like, say, like, it's covered, it's not like a thong where you can see everything up front. Like, that's a little too far. But, I mean, like, if the chest is covered and all the parts are covered, it's fine to wear at the beach.
Yeah.
I think different countries, different things. Like, you shouldn't be ashamed of your body, because everybody has it, and they're all different. But if you are going to wear skimpy clothes, at least wax.
Oh, I agree with you on
Yep,
that.
there. I knew it was going somewhere. So Kelsey's like, do whatever you want. Just make sure you mind your P's and Q's right away, right?
Yeah, just
Gotcha.
like make sure that part's covered, because then when there's some that's just a little too far.
So let me tell you something. I have a granola cruncher of a cousin, and she grows her own meals and all that stuff. And if she came into town for one of our family reunions.
Just the phrase "she came into town" has got me scared about this story.
We go to Valley Fair and the water park, and this girl is hairy from brows to toenails, and I'm like, oh, Molly, what are you doing? It was, and my, I had no idea how to react, but it was just, she was laying there and did not even care. It's like when you're the only one around.
Good on her.
But
if she doesn't care, right?
Exactly.
But when you see that European look, and you're not used to seeing that European look,
Brouch.
like she had buckwheat in a headlock, you know what I mean? I gotcha.
It was
Right.
bad.
Thanks, Kelsey.
Hey, JJ, how are you?
I'm well. Yourself?
Good.
What's up?
What in the heck is a bat in the cave?
Oh, it's like when you got a visible booger, and
You've never
and,
heard that?
and
You got
nobody
a bat in
tells
the
you
cave?
that. Yeah, you've never heard that before.
No, I just want to make sure I don't have one.
The first time I heard it, I thought somebody was talking about only a female can have it, and if her pants are too tight, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, okay. But it just means if you got the booger in the nose and you can see it, so do a quick flick and you should be good to go.
Yeah, I'm heading into the clinic. I don't have a bat in the cave.
Podcast. Download the podcast.
The Playhouse Podcast is made possible thanks to Bradshaw and Bryant Law Offices. Catch the live show weekdays from 5:30 to 9 on 104.7 KCLD. Now, share this with a friend. Immediately.
And hey, we have more podcast episodes available, so go check them out right now. Do it. Come on, do it. Seriously, do it.